Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Operations Committee meeting for Tuesday, May the 10th, 2022 for the County of Renfrew to order. As we gather this morning, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of Council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Roll call been taken, Evelyn?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
We have quorum, thank you. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none. The adoption of the minutes of the previous meeting on April 12th and 27th, which are attached. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Hunt, Councillor Bennett, any questions or concerns in regards to the minutes of those meetings? Seeing none, all in favor? It's carried. Thank you. There's no delegations or into the reports of the Public Works, Part 7A. Mr. Perkins, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to committee. This is this month's report from departmental report. So item 1 is the monthly status report, which of course it keeps in line with our strategic plan goal number 3. Attached as Appendix 1 is the monthly project status report. So additional project specific information will be provided in the divisional reports coming up. Capital Program Variance Report. So attached as Appendix 2 is the Capital Program Variance Report. As committee will notice from the 2022 Capital Variance Report, staff are seeing a number of overages in the project tenders. Significant increases in asphalt pricing, bridge rehabilitation have all contributed to the overall excess of $2 million in pricing thus far. With a number of project tenders still to come, staff are advising committee that the use of working capital reserve may be necessary later in the season to complete planned projects, and if deemed necessary, a select number of projects may be pushed into 2023 season, which would affect the asset management plan and future works plans. Also, as a side note from our SLT meeting this morning, we're seeing a significant increase in fuel costs. So later in the season, we'll probably be back to explain that. You know, we're double the fuel price, as everybody knows from their personal experience. So no difference for a municipality. Item 3 is the Treasurer's Report for the Public Works and Engineering Department. Item 4 is departmental growth, and again, this is in keeping with our strategic plan goals for number 2. So due to the growing costs of services provided by external engineering consultants and the increasing volume of works being required for road designs, Public Works and Engineering staff initiated a review of opportunities for savings and increased efficiencies within the department. It has been identified that the establishment of 3 new positions within Public Works and Engineering would provide a higher level of service to ratepayers, provide substantial savings on capital projects and the county as a whole, and provide greater opportunity to assist local municipalities. The three proposed new positions within the PWE are shown below with the benefits in each position summarized. So the first position, of course, would be a civil designer. So our asset management plan on average includes $277,200 for consulting services for the design of an average of 8 structural culverts annually. So staff within the PWE have the qualifications and skills necessary to complete this design of most structural culverts. However, there is currently no position which is responsible for such internal designs and no staff available to undertake so many design assignments. The current staff has been able to complete designs for the replacement of such structures as C058 Constant Creek culverts, the C142 Quade Creek culverts, C222 Pleasant Valley Steel Arch, C300 is Wolf Road Twin Pipes, and C314 is Royal Pines Culvert in recent years. However, as staff have other responsibilities, they must work by committee and single designs and currently only have the capacity to complete 1 culvert structure design yearly. So if a civil designer position were approved, it would allow the department to undertake the design of most, if not all, structural culverts in-house and potentially realize a savings of approximately $120,224 that we are now currently paying out in design services to consultant engineers. Additionally, what we've noticed is the designs undertaken in-house are of a higher quality as more design alternatives are reviewed, greater variables are used in comparing options, and recent tender prices in establishing cost estimates. As such, the designs completed in-house are more efficient, better quality, and more cost efficient than those completed by the consultants. Position number 2 would be an engineering tech. So as required, road works has increased each year. The working capacity of the existing technical team, consisting of 2 engineering techs overseen by a supervisor of technical services, has started to be surpassed. So we're at capacity is essentially what Taylor's saying. This is evidenced financially by the need to solicit services for engineering consultants to supervise construction on some recent road projects, as well as the need to solicit services of a consultant to design and rehabilitate County Road 21, Beachburg Road. This year, a project that would normally fall within technical capabilities of PWE. However, due to staff shortages, we are unable to complete. Public Works and Engineering has also had an increased rely on a use of junior engineering technicians to take on construction supervision roles. This provides excellent experience for summer students, but cannot be relied on due to the complex needs of some road supervision projects. Additionally, although the supervisor of technical services and engineering technicians have the capabilities, due to the large number of road projects undertaken annually, the technical team does not have the time to review such items as roadside safety, road alignment, sight lines, or signage needs for each road, and must design for like rehabilitation. As the budget for roadworks continues to increase annually each year, it is needed to ensure that the county road system remains in a safe condition, so too will the need for external services to assist in the design and construction supervision. So if a third engineering tech was approved, this would allow the department to undertake a more thorough review of roads needed during design, while also realizing an average savings of approximately $359,425 per year. And then the final position is an operations coordinator. So as noted from the previous 2 positions, with capacity within the department as a whole has now being surpassed, but not due to lack of staff capability. Should the 2 positions listed above be approved, it is advised that the department be reorganized to include a county road and structure capital works under the infrastructure division and all maintenance and operations under the operations division. However, the operations division would still have a substantial portfolio of projects and programs related to maintenance operations on county infrastructure. These types of projects include, but are not limited to, the Scratch Coat program, repair and rehabilitation of public works facilities, the line painting program, and various other programs being developed in support of the maintenance of county roads and structures. In the past, the various programs and projects have been coordinated by several different staff within the department and overseen from the manager of operations. However, with a greater focus on existing technical staff on the capital program for county roads and structures, an additional staff member is required to oversee the operations program. If an operations coordinator were approved, it would allow the department to allocate the proper focus to the above programs within the operations division without taking away from the necessities of capital works on roads and structures. Though the operations coordinator would not provide a cost savings to the county, the savings identified would negate the additional costs of the additional staff member. Additionally, the operations coordinator would be beneficial in the further advancing the operations division by improving standard procedures, advancing health and safety initiatives, improving the use of automatic vehicle locator system, as well as greater implementation of new technologies such as the road patrol software, electronic work orders, and electronic service requests. The implementation of the above new positions is projected to provide an overall annual savings of $392,240 per year. Included as Appendix 4 is a flow chart illustrating the layout of the proposed reorganization of the Public Works and Engineering Department, as well as a table summarizing the costs associated with enacting the 3 new positions and the projected savings. These positions are recommended to be included for consideration in the 2023 budget. And then item 5 is Connecting the East. And this is a draft transportation plan for the Eastern Ontario. So the province of Ontario has recently released its plan to build a better transportation system in Eastern Ontario. Attached as Appendix 5 is the complete report, Connecting the East, a draft transportation for Eastern Ontario, which gives the details of the current government's accomplishments and plans for expansion to all forms of transportation, trails, transit, and cycling. The plan includes infrastructure service improvements and policies organized under 5 goals. connecting people and places, supporting a competitive and open business environment, providing more choice and convenience, improving safety and inclusion, and preparing for the future. Unfortunately, no new funding opportunities have been identified, but the document will make additional reference when applying for transportation initiatives within the County of Renfrew. And with that, sir, I'll leave it for resolutions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perkins, and we'll go back to item 1 under information, the monthly project status report. Questions, comments? Item 2, capital program variance report. Item 3, the treasurer's report. Item 4, the departmental growth. Councillor Lynch, please.
Thank you, Chair. Just short, I concur with the A for the civil designer. I think we brought that forward a couple of years ago that we're paying astronomical fees for engineering people, but I don't agree with B and C. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Bennett and then Councillor Hunt.
Thank you, Chair. I'm struggling with this a little bit because it's all based on where the economy is right at the moment. But it is it's pretty well known that the economy is going to crash, and after the election's over, a lot of the money that is being promised right now might not be available. So I think we're a little bit ahead of ourselves right at the moment of looking at changing the structure of where we are until we know how it's going to settle out there. The high fuel costs, the cost of having employees up front of this caliper is very costly to begin with. And where are we going to find the people to replace them if these people move on? And that's a big consideration that we have to take, is that we don't know how much these people are going to cost us in the years to come if that many people are going through the training that actually are available to fill these positions. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Hunt, please.
Thank you. I guess I lean more the other way. I'm in favor of looking at this. Maybe we have to go into it a little more in depth to understand where all this savings is coming from. But certainly, if we are able to attract those people and save those kind of dollars, if in the future we lose them, all we would be doing is reverting back to the position that we're in today. So I think it is certainly a worthwhile exercise to take this study a little further and bring it forth. I certainly know that when our township is using consultants, we pay through the nose for them, and that's the same here at the county level. So I'm in favor of looking at this further and exploring it. And just one question on the organization chart. Why is it called Manager of Operations and Manager of Capital Works? Why is it not called Manager of Infrastructure?
Mr. Perkins, please.
Mr. Hanrath, Chair.
Oh, Mr. Hanrath, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to Councillor Hunt. It was just put in because in the past, whenever all capital works were under a single division, it was called the Capital Works Division rather than the Infrastructure Division.
Okay. Thank you. It did confuse me a little bit because when I read it and then I went to the infrastructure, I expected to see maybe 2 lines coming down, but it is only 1. So I just suggest we take a peek at that. Thank you.
Mr. Morrow, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to Councillor Hunt. I believe it is historical, as Taylor has alluded to. However, it's also connected with our bylaw number 1, and we would have to change the name of the position on bylaw number 1 as well. So for consistency reasons, we continue to use the same title.
Thank you. Other comments? I'm in agreement with Councillor Hunt on this one. We've been looking or talking about this for over a year and a half. It is also here today to sort of move our discussions ahead a little further, but you have to note that it is also for the 2023 budget. So if it doesn't go through the 2023 budget, it's dead in the water, but I'm hoping that during budget deliberations, council will see their way clear to approve these positions. I understand about the economy and the pandemic and everything, and what's probably coming down the road in the future. But at this point, I think we have to keep moving forward. They have to keep moving the county forward, and if not, we're going to have to start just reducing county services in every department. That's my opinion. Mr. Morrow, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to committee. Very good discussion on this topic. I'm wondering if, Chair, not to change the recommendation that is in front of you right now, but if the committee would wish that in the month of August, when we start the budget process, that staff would bring back a detailed presentation where they can clearly outline to the committee through a presentation the proposed change, and again, continue that conversation at that time, and we could come back and present all the detailed numbers and some of the details with respect to the proposal, if that would be, if you would be open to that, Chair.
Thank you. Any members of committee have concerns with Mr. Morrow's suggestion? Councillor Bennett?
Thank you, Chair. And through you, I would very much like the opportunity to see what's in front of us. So I fully understand where it's going, and that gives a perfect opportunity to be all involved and know for sure that we're moving forward in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Any other comments? Okay, so do we need staff direction?
Staff direction to bring it back in August. Staff direction to bring it back in August, Chair?
Yeah. Mover and seconder for staff direction to bring this information concerning this back to committee in August. Councillor TJ and Councillor Hunt, all in favor? It's carried. We're good?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Item 5, the Connecting the East draft transportation plan. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. Mr. Perkins, we can move on to resolutions, please.
Thank you, Chair. First resolution is County Road 52, which is Burnstown Road, so there's a fenced lookout there. So the recommendation here is that the Operations Committee recommend that staff remove the existing fenced lookout on County Road 52, Burnstown Road, and replace it with proper page wire fencing along the Building Supply Road right-of-way, and further that the existing rock be moved inside the fence line for the Federation of Women's Institutes of Ontario to replace the plaque at their convenience as a cost share with the County of Renfrew. So the background here was we received an actual phone call from Ms. Skelly of the Federation of Women's Institute of Ontario in Burnstown within the township of McNabb Braeside in April month, and she was looking to repair the current scenic outlook along County Road 52. Attached as Appendix 6 are images of the lookout, mapping, survey, and the plaque inscription. The plaque has been removed and lost some time ago, and the area has fallen into disrepair. In order to improve the fencing and maintain safety along the lookout perimeter, an investment of approximately $5,000 would be required, as well as the cost of replacing the plaque and ongoing maintenance. And again, our recommendation here is that we actually will close that off and make it safe so people are not actually out overlooking Burnstown Road. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Lynch, Councillor Hunt. Discussions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution? Carried. Thank you. Mr. Perkins.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to committee again. So, item 7 is a bylaw for County Road 1, Madawaska Boulevard, and review of the speed limit between Conifer Lane and Edward Levesque Gate. The recommendation here is that the Operations Committee recommend to County Council that the speed limit bylaw be updated to change the posted speed limit along County Road 1, Madawaska Boulevard, between Conifer Lane, Renfrew County boundary, and 600 meters north of the Renfrew County boundary to 60 kilometers an hour. And the background is there for your information.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Keller, Councillor Hunt. Discussion. Councillor Lynch.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the Director of Operations for bringing this forward. Well needed coming into the town of Arnprior because they're rocketing down Old 17 to the Ford station and they don't bother stopping until they get to PJ's. So with this in place, it should slow them down a bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perkins, please.
And I just wanted to convey my thanks to the town of Arnprior and Arnprior staff, Mr. Steckley, for bringing this forward in a very timely manner. So thank you very much for that.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor of the bylaw? It's carried. Thank you.
And thank you, Chair. That concludes the departmental report.
Thank you. We'll call on Mr. Hanrath for the Infrastructure Division report, starting on page 69.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, I present the Infrastructure Division report, starting with the information items. Item number 1 is streetlight warrants. At the previous meeting of Operations Committee, the question was raised as to what the warrants were for approval of streetlights at the intersection of 2 county roads. Attached as Appendix IN1 is the spreadsheet used by county staff to evaluate intersections to establish whether streetlights are warranted. The spreadsheet was developed by the Transportation Association of Canada, or TAC, and evaluates 4 main criteria to develop a score for the intersection: geometric factors, operational factors, environmental factors, and collision history. If the intersection evaluation scores 120 or higher, then illumination or streetlights is warranted. All areas highlighted in yellow in the spreadsheet are to be filled in by the county staff member completing the evaluation. The information for the evaluation completed at the intersection for County Road 49, La Poste Road, and County Road 31, Lookout Road has been evaluated to provide an example. Item number 2 is County Road 512, Foymount Road update. As per a request at the previous meeting of County Council, correspondence was sent to Bell Canada and Hydro One requesting that their works along County Road 512, Foymount Road, be expedited and that staff from each agency coordinate with county staff in order to ensure a portion of the road may be reconstructed in 2022. A response has been received from Bell agreeing to attend a meeting with Hydro One and county staff to establish the scope of works and anticipated timelines. To add to this, since the development of this report, Hydro One has also reached out stating that they would like to meet in the coming weeks to discuss the project. With that, Chair, I'll pause. That's the end of the information items.
Thank you. We go back to item number 1, streetlight warrants. That answered the question of whoever was inquiring. Item 2, County Road 512. Seeing nothing. Mr. Hanrath, resolutions, please.
Thank you, Chair. Item number 3 is PWC 2021-56, amendment of B203 Petawawa River Bridge Contract Administration Services. The recommendation is that an amendment of contract PWC 2021-56 for engineering services of County Structure B203 Petawawa River Bridge, as submitted by WSP Canada of Ottawa, Ontario, to include contract administration and construction supervision services in the amount of $124,309.67 plus HST be approved.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Bennett and Councillor Hunt. Questions, comments? Seeing Councillor Lynch?
Just a comment, Chair, that this bridge is getting more expensive by the day. Thank you.
As is everything. Any other comments? All in favor of the resolution? Carried. Thank you. Mr. Henrath, please, item 4, bylaws.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 4 is PWC 2022-22 Rehabilitation of County Structure B022 Indian River Bridge. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommend that County Council approve contract PWC 2022-22 as submitted by DW Building Restoration Services Incorporated of Ottawa, Ontario for the rehabilitation of County Structure B022 Indian River Bridge in the amount of $1,145,953.30 plus HST, and further that County Council pass a bylaw to authorize execution of the contract.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Keller, Councillor Lynch. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the bylaw? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. That concludes the Infrastructure Division report.
Thank you, Mr. Henrath. We'll move now to Mr. Baldock's report, beginning on page 75. Mr. Baldock, please.
Thank you, Chair Puckett, and through you I present the Operations Division report for May. Under the information items, number 1 is the winter operations. It was an interesting winter. Thank goodness it's over. Table 1 provides the summary of the winter events, the material usage, and precipitation amounts for the 2021-22 winter months. Table 2 outlines the number of significant weather events for the winter season for the 21-22. And we're working on an estimate for the major storm event, and we'll bring that forward to committee as soon as it's prepared to the next committee. Item number 2 is the spring load restrictions. Staff are preparing for the cessation of the spring load restrictions program effective May 16th. We've sent the notices to the newspaper. It'll be posted on the public website, and we do a circulation to the lower tiers and to many contractors in the area. So we're planning on ending the restrictions on May 16th. And I've received quite a few calls over the program. It's generally people call just to find out what's happening, and we do take it off as soon as possible. I think that was one of the major issues, that we make sure that we take it off as soon as possible and protect the county roads at the same time. Item number 3 is summer operations, street sweeping. Item number 1 is the street sweeping contract, and it was awarded to Houston Fencing and Guardrail, and is proposed to start May 11th. Just for information, it's about 3 weeks behind this year. The weather's been wet and cool, and so basically even Ottawa is behind about 3 weeks. So we would normally have started by now, but we have them lined up for the week of May 9th, and they should be starting on the 11th, the Wednesday, if not sooner, hopefully. Item number B is street sweeping the intersections. The staff also does sweeping in the springtime, and that has started. You will notice on a lot of county roads that we're ready for the street sweeping contracts to come in, and we also clean up a lot of the rural intersections. Item C is manhole and catch basin cleaning. That generally follows right after or very closely behind the street sweeping operations, and that was awarded to Clean Water Works, and we anticipate that it'll actually be completed as part of the contract on June 24th, and most likely sooner, but they generally start right after the street sweeping. Being the end of the information items, if there's any questions, I can take them.
Thank you, Mr. Baldock. We go back to item 1, winter operations. Questions? Councillor Lynch, please.
Thank you, Chair. Do we have a guesstimate how much money we saved on our winter operations in that we're now in May? Sorry to blindside you, but I couldn't find it in the report.
Mr. Perkins, please.
Unfortunately for us, winter starts again in October. So any potential savings that we may have had between January and May, we may burn up in October, November. So we save that for you for later. Because if we tell you we've saved money this past couple of weeks, then we spend it in the first few weeks of next winter, we're still inside the same budget year.
Thank you. Councillor Lynch?
Somewhere in my memory, Chair, that if there was a savings in the snow removal, the first 250,000 goes into the reserve for the snow removal for 2023. So that was my question. If we've got loot left over from 2022, then make sure we get it for 2023.
Mr. Perkins, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. No, actually, that money was 2022, and I believe Mr. Foss put that, the first money had to go to trails, and then after that, it was the 250 went to our winter reserve. But that was 2022. I don't think that's standing for 2023, not that I'm aware of. Yes, sorry, Chair. We'll follow up with Mr. Foss for committee's clarification.
Thank you. Any other questions on item 1, winter operations? Item 2, spring load restrictions. Item 3, summer operations. There's 3A, B, and C. Item 4, we're on to quotations. Okay, Mr. Baldock, please.
Thank you, Chair Peckett, and through you. Item number 4 is tenders and quotations. Typically, this was an appendix. We brought this into the report, and you'll see below is a summary of the tenders and quotations received for the month of April by the Operations Division. And these tenders and quotations have been approved already by either the Chief Administrative Officer or the Director of Public Works. And that's in conformance with corporate policy GA01, procurement of goods and services. I can answer any questions that you have on these. Typically, we don't review them one by one.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments on item 4, quotations and tenders? Seeing none. Moving on to resolutions. Mr. Baldock, please.
Thank you, Chair Peckett, and through you. Item number 5 is resolutions. Item number 5 is PWC 2022-62, rehabilitation of County Road 62, John Street, Cumbermere Road.
Thank you. I need a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Lynch, Councillor Keller. Questions, comments? Oh, I thought you did read it. I'm sorry.
Through your Chair Packet, the recommendation that Operations Committee approve contract PWC 2022-62 as submitted by Greenwood Paving Pembroke Limited, Pembroke, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 62, John Street, Cumbermere Road, in the amount of $116,949 plus HST.
Thank you. We already had a mover and seconder. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution? Carried. Thank you. Mr. Baldock, please, item 6.
Thank you, Chair Peckett. Item number 6, PWO 2022-12, tractor and attachments.
You read the recommendation, please.
The recommendation that Operations Committee approve contract PWO 2022-12 as submitted by Cecil C. Elliott Farm Equipment Limited, Pembroke, Ontario, for the purchase of one tractor and attachment in the amount of $101,444, excluding HST.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor TJ, Councillor Hunt. Questions, comments? Councillor Lynch.
Thank you, Chair. It's very nice to see all the local in the county being, with the exception of CARP, making bids, so it's staying local. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor of the recommendation? It's carried. Thank you. Item 7, bylaws. Mr. Bullock, please.
Thank you again, Chair Peckett, and through you. Item number 7 is PWC 2022-12, rehabilitation of County Road 508, Calabogie Road.
The recommendation, please.
Recommendation is that Operations Committee recommend that County Council approve contract PWC 2022-12 as submitted by Thomas Cavanaugh Construction Limited, Ashton, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 508, Calabogie Road, in the amount of $678,400 plus HST, and further that a bylaw to authorize the execution of the contract be passed.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Bennett, Councillor Keller. Questions or comments on the bylaw? Councillor Hunt, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to Operations. We had flooding, and I think you were out to look at it by the library. Is that being addressed as part of this contract?
Through you, Chair Peckett.
Mr. Bullock, please.
Through you, Chair Peckett, to Councillor Hunt. Yes, the director, myself, and Taylor went out to take a look at it, and that is part of this program.
Thank you. Any other comments? All in favor of the bylaw? Carried. Thank you. Item 8, Mr. Bullock, please.
Through you, Chair Peckett, to committee. Item number 8 is PWC 2022-67, rehabilitation of County Road 67, Simpson Pit Road.
Recommendation, please.
The recommendation that Operations Committee recommend that County Council approve contract PWC 2022-67 as submitted by RGT Cloutier Construction Limited, Pembroke, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 67, Simpson Pit Road, in the amount of $788,500 plus HST, and further that a bylaw to authorize the execution of the contract be passed.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, Councillor TJ. Councillor Lynch. Questions or comments? All in favor of the recommendation? Carried. Thank you. Item 9, Mr. Bullock, please.
Thanks again, Chair Peckett. Item number 9, PWC 2022-02, rehabilitation of County Road 2, White Lake Road, and County Road 23, Highland Road.
Recommendation, please.
Recommendation that Operations Committee recommend that County Council approve contract PWC 2022-02 as submitted by Thomas Cavanaugh Construction Limited, Ashton, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 2, White Lake Road, and 23, Highland Road, in the amount of $1,623,208.43 plus HST, and further that bylaw to authorize the execution of the contract be passed.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Bennett. Councillor Hunt. Comments? Questions? All in favor of the recommendation? It's carried. Thank you. Item 10, Mr. Baldock, please.
Thank you, Chair Packett, and through you. Item number 10, PWC 2022-13, rehabilitation of County Road 13, Mountain Road.
Thank you. The recommendation, please.
The recommendation that Operations Committee recommend that County Council approve contract PWC 2022-13 as submitted by H&H Construction Incorporated, Petawawa, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 13, Mountain Road, in the amount of $595,746.50 plus HST, and further that a bylaw to authorize the execution of the contract be passed.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Keller. Councillor Hunt. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the recommendation? It's carried. Thank you.
Sorry, Councillor Lynch has a question, please.
Oh, sorry. Councillor Lynch, please.
Sorry, Chair, my hand was slow getting up there. Just that H&H Construction rings bells for River Road ×2, Madawaska Road by once, so I'm assuming we'll be monitoring their progress on this. Thank you.
Mr. Perkins, please.
Oh, thank you, Chair, and through you. Yes, we are continuing to work with H&H on an issue on River Road, County Road 1. And again, awarding this contract here, we will be closely monitoring them this year for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11, Mr. Baldock, please.
Thank you, Chair Packett, and through you. Thank you for your patience as a long list of contracts to approve this this committee. The last one here is item number 11, PWC 2022-06, asphalt patching and scratch coat paving.
Recommendation, please.
Recommendation that Operations Committee recommend that County Council approve contract PWC 2022-06 as submitted by Bonashare Excavating Incorporated, Renfrew, Ontario, for asphalt patching and scratch coat paving in the amount of $690,530.44 plus HST, and further that a bylaw to authorize the execution of the contract be passed.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor TJ, Councillor Hunt. Questions, comments? All in favor of the recommendation? It's carried. Thank you. At the end of your report, Mr. Bullock?
Yes, thank you, Chair Packett.
So, it's not a problem that you're taking up a lot of time with these tenders, because it just shows how much the county is getting done and moving forward. So if you want to take another half hour, you got some more you can add in there, we'll...
Thank you, Chair Packett. We'll have another set for next month for sure.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Lynch, please.
Thank you, Chair. Just to go along with your comments, I'm noticing that the tenders are 2, 6, 14, 18. So all the other resolutions and bylaws to come through, I assume there's more to follow.
That's a good thing. Any other comments? Mover and seconder for the report as a whole, please. Councillor Hunt, Councillor Bennett, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Anything under new business? Saying nothing. There's no closed meeting. The date of the next meeting, June 14th. The County Council meeting, May 25th. Mover and seconder to adjourn, Councillor TJ, Councillor Hunt, all in favor? Carried. Thank you.